UFOs in northwestern Pennsylvania back in the 1960s and the 70s, and this frightened some people, but some community members in one part of Erie County embraced this idea of space aliens landing in their town.
Citizens built an official landing spot for the UFOs. An artifact from those days is still around today. John Last had to see it for himself in this edition of The Last Word.
Decorate their front yards in various ways. For example, some put out colorful little flamingos. I visited a house near Girard that may have the most unusual display of all. This is a flying saucer that sits smack dab in the front yard of John and Patty Pauline's property on Route 20 just west of Girard. John and Patty purchased the craft in 1976. Back then, they heard the town of Lake City was building a UFO landing port as a different way to celebrate the nation's bicentennial. The Paulines figured the landing port could use a flying saucer, so they contacted a man named Jim Meter, who was coordinating the project.
He was looking for attention for Lake City and to have something to remember the bicentennial for Lake City.
The landing port was memorable, all right. The Associated Press published a newspaper article about the project that went nationwide. There were postcards and bumper stickers promoting the site. The Paulines' gift of the flying saucer added greatly to the gimmick. People came from all over to see it.
People remembered going to Lake City because that would sit out in the park in Lake City. It was in a prominent space in Lake City so that people could see it when they drove through.
The flying saucer would be taken to parades, fairs, and other public activities throughout the area.
What they did, they mounted this on a trailer, and they would take it around, and it had a light system and speaker system on it. And they would take it around to different functions.
After a few years, the Lake City UFO landing site was taken down. The flying saucer was placed in storage, where it sat for decades. But a few months ago, the owner of the storage unit gave John a call.
We're going to get rid of it. You want it back? It's yours. I said, sure, I'll take it. I took it back, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with it? I thought, well, I'll just put it in my yard.
The flying saucer that provided much joy to Lake City visitors in the 1970s is now creating smiles in the Paulines' front yard near Girard.
It was serendipitous that it came back to us because this is where it started. So it was very nice that it came back.
With the last word at the new UFO landing port in West County, John Last, Erie News Now.
And the people of Lake City raised $6,000 to build the UFO landing port in 1976. It was 5 feet high and 100 feet in diameter.
And by the way, the Paulines say they paid $500 for the flying saucer 47 years ago. They spotted it at an outdoor sale in Ohio. We'll be right back.